See how long the delay is. What's going on, boys and girls? We are here with another live stream for GameSphere, and apparently, every one of you wanted to see me play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. So that's what we'll be playing. Uh, yeah, let's roll into it. So as you can see, this is obviously on my Garuda Linux install. So we'll fire up Heroic. I do note this is not available on Steam currently. This is if you're playing it on PC, it's Epic Store or nothing. So do keep note of that. Uh, 12. And so for those who want, some of the game info, I'll throw that up there for you. This particular one will be a bit interesting because I don't know if it's actually going to capture stuff or not as far as the audio. The audio has been hit or miss on this, and I don't 100% know why. I'm not a fan of the Epic Store. That's why I use Jude. That's why I use Heroic generically. Let's see. Is the audio actually going to work, or are you just going to be silly and not do what I need you to? Probably going to be silly and not do what I needed to. All right, let's try adding the interface this way. Still nothing. Oop, don't want to switch to that. All right, well, you guys are going to have to go without audio because, audio still seems to be an issue. We will, let's see. Let us remove this. And we'll go from there. Okay. Yeah, for some reason the audio totally shot. Which is weird because it was working earlier. Yeah, totally shot. Just checking to see if I didn't have it on another channel, but ignore that particular stack of stuff. Anyway, let's roll into this. Unfortunately, so again, I do apologize for the lack of audio. New game, default, easy classic. And do know this has tons of problems running on Windows. Like, I mean, a ton. This is just, I told it to run a version of Proton and it's running at 120 frames. So this is for those that don't know, this particular game is a reimagining of the original Final Fantasy VII that came out back in 1997, at least over here in the States, to the PlayStation 1. This is being done kind of in an episodic way, however, so some people like it, some people won't. Um, for me, this game was the thing that got me into RPGs, specifically like Japanese RPGs and like story focused games and all. Like, so this is like my gateway game. And then I got into games like, Chrono Trigger, kind of those ilk of games. The biggest thing that most people don't know though is, a lot of people make the joke that, oh, Final Fantasy just keeps on going, so the fantasy is never final. Um, the whole reason Final Fantasy was named Final Fantasy is because Squaresoft back in the mid 80s, late 80s was bankrupt basically, and they were going to release one final hurrah for a game, and they just called it Final Fantasy. It became a hit, and they didn't go bankrupt. So irony. Let's make another. So this particular portion of the remake is only about the first 5 hours of the original game. So this is the Midgard section of the game, so like the beginning of disc one. Um, before it really, this kind of gives you a more fulfilled view of the world that Final Fantasy VII takes place in, especially as it relates to Midgard and how you feel about it. And it's kind of dark, dingy. It's got this like steampunk, diesel punk, like cyberpunk kind of vibe going on for it. So it's like it's futuristic-y, but it's not, and it's dirty and it's dingy. It's run by corporations, which is a very cyberpunk thing. So it all has its a different atmosphere. Then you throw in magic, which makes it even a whole lot weirder. Ooh, excuse me. But yes, I do understand that. As Carl, you mentioned, not a lot of people are going to be a fan of this on PC anyway because it's on Epic, and I totally get that. I was in that camp for a long, long time. Frankly, I'm generically still in that camp for the most part. Um, so frame rate wise, you're seeing 98, 99. There are a few spikes here and there. A lot of that has to do with the rendering. This doesn't have a lot of the perks that running through Steam would, like pre-shader caching and all the other stuff. But I mean, as you can tell, this is running directly from my Linux box. So there's Jesse, there's Biggs and Wedge. This is running at max settings. There's Barrett. This is running at max settings. I think I have the frame rate capped at 120, only because I have a 144 hertz refresh rate monitor, so makes sense. All right, let's get into gameplay and see if you actually work, though. That's the part I want to know. So this is not going to be a first impressions. I've already played and beaten this game. I played it on PS4. It's up there. Do, do, do. So one thing I do like about this version is like the with the higher frame rate, it does help. Now we're dipping down in the 40s now, 70s, new area. That's why. The one thing I do like about this version over PS4 version, however, is the fact that while the PS4 version looks very, very pretty for a PS4 game, it also has, you can tell it's a 30 frame game. You can tell that it has its issues as a game. So while the fidelity might be high in that particular release for when compared to this just has a more complete feel to the game as far as like experience wise. The one thing that a lot of people will either love or hate is, especially if you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, this does not necessarily have that. They have different control schemes for how to allow that. Like as an example, like you can basically kind of pause up certain aspects of the system. Also, what makes this particular version a little bit different than the one that came out on PS4 is the fact that this includes the PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy VII Remake Intermission, I think it is. It's basically like another episode that features Yuffie Yuffie, however you want to pronounce that. So there is mild exploration in this. It does end up opening up quite a bit, but at the moment, as you can tell, not so much. Shatter boxes. Smash with your sword. Like so. So, obviously, female character there is Jessie. This is the rendering resolution is 1080. So, though the stream rendering resolution is 720/60. So, if you're noticing a loss in quality or something, that's probably why. You'll keep it safe, right? Right? Maybe. If I feel like it. Like to me, the lighting effects are really good. I like these are like non-ray traced lighting effects. This is being done on a 3050 Ti, like not a desktop card, laptop card. It's, and then cancel you. Again, I do apologize for the lack of game audio. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where that particular issue is coming from. I believe that it's something to do with it's either the capture card or the system that I'm tying it into. So I'm still figuring that out. So some games play nice with it, and others don't. So we'll get that figured out eventually. So there's that. And then now I need the stream address. Where's the stream address? Copy URL. Sorry, forgot to tweet the stream out. Oh, did they block it? Nope, they didn't. Okay. Yes, this. Yes, low spec. This is being done from a Linux system. If you couldn't tell by the fact that the VK 3DD is up there. This does use quite a bit of memory, so there is that. I mean, this is a 16 gig system, and it's already using 9 gigs, give or take. I will give the system credit though; it handles the CPU GPU combo even at running at 100%. 72, 73 is fairly good. Thermal wise. I run this on a 960 GTX, and the thing about chokes, I mean, the GPU is running at 100% and with like a 82 temp, and I'm getting, granted, 1920 by 1080 on a 960 for essentially a new game in 2021 on a 6-year-old GPU ain't terrible. And a flying they will go. All right, so let's see. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Bottle of ether. Spells, fire, security officer. There we go. Away you go. There, running across the top. That's the elevator. So as you can tell, this runs perfectly fine on Linux, and this isn't a native developed Linux game at all. So graphically, I would give this game at least a good solid like 8.5. Like artistically speaking and graphically speaking, and like there's no hitches, at least on this version anyway. Um, I think says a lot about it. Of course. Leave the merc to go, you know, fight all the things. All right, bit of hesitation in the graphical stuff there, but nothing major. So the graphics, as far as this game is concerned, I would give probably like I said, an 8.5. It uses the lighting well. There's very good detail in the characters. There's nice reflections off the floor, that kind of stuff. Sound. Well, seeing how you guys can't really hear it, I can't really judge it, but I know what it sounds like, so I'm gonna give this probably a 9. I just love the soundtrack. I love the remake of this soundtrack. It's just fantastic. I love it. All right, we got anything else to explore? So low spec, can we expect you to be trying to run this at some point? Reactor number 1. That's an iconic scene for anybody who has actually played the original. Ain't holding out on me. Nope. Memory time. Barrett. So do know this game is rated teen, so there is a lot of that kind of stuff. Nope. Okay, steering horse. Clouds much if we can switch between his balance operator mode and his. There we go. All right, so straight up, simmer down, hot shot. All right, let's see. Who else do I get to fight? Who else do I have to fight? Yeah, that's that. Eric, I'm waiting to actually play Elden Ring on Steam Deck when mine ships sometime in the next 3 months. I'm in I'm in quarter 2 gang for Steam Deck, so I'm gonna try to experience it based on the best report right now, and the best experience is based on simply just playing it on deck. Yeah, I don't blame you for the no Epic account. I really, really struggled with wanting to get one, or getting one, I should say, not wanting to get one. Honestly, for me, the only reason I ended up getting one was when I think it was GTA 5 that they had for PC for free. It was the only reason I bought it, or got it. Not not GTA 5, but the only reason I got an Epic account. There's Tifa, however you want to pronounce it. Shinra. Shinra Electric Company. Hmm. Head of security. Yeah, that's the Shinra president. Making the plug. Barrett making the plug. Mako's the lifeblood of our planet. Yeah, exactly, Eric. That's the reason I want, and a lot of us do the Steam Deck. So I'm really waiting and holding off on playing Elden Ring until I can experience it for myself on the platform I prefer, on the device the performance has been best optimized for, and that is going to be the deck right now. Now, yeah, you can brute force it and make it work, but that's not a great way for things to always. It's not a great way for a gaming experience sometimes because brute forcing it has some of its own flaws. Barrett is such a pain in the butt in this game. I just love the fact he's like, yeah, I should have asked for more money. Cloud is very much a merc in this portion of the game. Barrett Wallace joined the party. All right. Let's see if I remember how to switch characters. You can switch some characters. Okay, so that's what I thought it was. Just wanted to make sure the character selection was the same. The controls are fairly fluid once you play them, or in my case, remember how to play them. It's been I haven't touched the game in over a year, so trying to remember what I actually need to play and need to remember is two very different things. Let's see. Don't think it's that way. Not that way. There we are. The only reason I get zapped by the lasers. They hurt. It was pretty self-explanatory to me. Right trigger. Boom. Just getting zapped is bad too. Dinner boxes. Did I get anything? Potion. $33 minutes. Oh. See, it's like Dusky trying to use Windows. Constantly running into the same wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. There I go. Oops. 2, 3, 4. Let's see. You have damn 2 potions. Yeah, how about you actually let me use them? That'd be great too. So the hitting areas of certain attacks was pressured. So the bottom gauge is the pressure gauge, or the yeah. Basically, it just makes it so that you can do more damage. Enemies have taken staggered, or defenses will take more damage. Unique abilities, blah blah blah. And there we go. So this is very much a much more action focused combat game than say the original. Nope. Mako reactor. So I will make the note that if you're not into story focused games, this is definitely not going to be the game for you in the slightest. And as you can tell, it's once you get going, it's actually really easy to switch in and out between characters and that kind of stuff, and abilities and all the other fun stuff that will make you actually really like this game. Because at first, when I heard that this was an action game, I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because being a fan of the original, it's really hard for me to, I don't want to say accept change. Definitely not the case, but such a drastic departure from what is known, and sometimes it comes across as very skeptical, and rightfully so. Not gonna lie. All right, so basically, this whole level is just really one big tutorial, and I know that. I get what you're saying on the couch. Like it's one of those things, you're either into them or you're not, and I totally get that. I know for a lot of people, especially as they get older with families and that kind of stuff, like that 8 to 10 hours is probably like the sweet spot for like a story focused game. So games like Enslaved and games like Heavenly Sword and like those type of games where they're short, compact, like 6 to 10 hour experiences, I think are it's an issue with the setup. It's on my end. It's not the game. as far as the no sound. That and we've been getting a lot of copyright issues with the sound, specifically as it relates to the game and game music and stuff. So the best way for us is just to kind of not make it a not make it a problem. Such an anime inspired game. I love it. Well, missiles bad. Ooh. Oh, this game is definitely like pretty. I will never say it is not. Anybody who says otherwise is quite frankly just lying. Oh, that's a lot of missiles. Ooh, that'll definitely rock your boat. There we go. Down you go. Or so you think. But it's a JRPG, so highly doubtful. $30 until detonation. Will I get out in time? Will they make it? Will they survive? Find out on the next episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Intergrade. And yes, that man does have a gun bolted to his arm. All right, there's that. The sarcasm is amazing. 2848. Up the continuous amount of ladders. Are we going to make it in time? There's that one. Oh, come on. There's got to be more. That was too easy. Nope. Missed some things. Didn't do all my exploration like I normally do. Let's see. Where else can we go? Up, up, up. Nope. Actually, got some soldiers. Let's see. We're gonna get out. Here's the elevator. Dun dun dun. That was a quick 25 minutes. That's a gutty cell phone. So yeah, that's the first level essentially for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. So we'll take a few minutes and yeah, throw some stuff to the community. What do you guys want to see for more? Maybe different kind of streams and stuff. Um, I'm always I always enjoy these Mondays or Fridays on occasion, or whatever day things kind of shake out to. Just because it is something different. It's not all the same that we would normally see. Oh, there goes the reactor and a big old boom. And I believe that's a Sector 1 reactor, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so I'm assuming you guys like to see these kind of weekly, just let you guys decide what I end up playing, because Lord knows there's a reason I give you guys 5 game choices, because they're all never generically the same, and some of those games are not ones that I would generically play. Um, I would recommend, if you can get this for PS4, which is probably going to be cheaper, then I would get it on there. The extra mission is not worth the amount of time that you're going to spend on it, or the amount of money you're going to spend on it. The slight graphical improvements that you're going to see, the better frame rate and that kind of stuff, a little bit prettier visuals, I don't think are quite worth the asking price that these guys are asking, because I believe, if I remember correctly, they're asking for $70 for this. That's a hard justification pill to swallow. Um, and generically, you can usually find this cheaper on, if you do somehow have a PS5, you will be able to find this far cheaper on there, because they usually have the digital version on sale as well. So definitely, I would look at those methods as opposed to strictly getting it on PC. I had a I had a deal from Square with this, so here we are playing it. Um, but overall, I've already played it. I've beaten it. This is like an 8.5 game for me. Like even on the PS4, like yeah, like the what is there for a PC title doesn't change that score in my opinion. Like the score is still what the score is. So with that, that's this episode and this live stream of GameSphere. So I want to thank those that joined the stream. Always a fun time. I always love exploring games, some that I've played, most that I haven't, because I have a ungodly amount of backlog, and it's always fun. So a couple of reminders: this network and this stream is totally brought to you by Bitward and DigitalOcean. So make sure you stop by the sponsors tab on the DLN website and get some of our great deals and from DigitalOcean and Bitwarden over there. Um, Great sponsors. Love having them on as far as sponsoring community stuff that they do in the Linux community. And as always, I'll catch you guys next week. Times might change though. Work schedule is getting a little wonky again. Shock surprise there to no one. So we might change what day we stream, but I'm trying to keep it on Monday. It's just what time I get out of the normal gig is really what it boils down to. So we will talk to you guys later and catch you on the next episode of Games Here.